Welcome to this week's edition of Chasing the Dollar. I'm Ron Arnold and filling in for the last week for Ben Damon, who'll be back on deck in 7 days' time. And on deck as usual, form guru is Timmy Newbold. Tim, some great racing over the last 7 days and still plenty to come in the next month.
Yeah, a very interesting meeting at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. A tough meeting punting-wise because we've got a couple of unknowns, greyhounds from interstate coming, trialling or having their first run at Wentworth Park, which is usually a trial for the Golden Easter egg. So a very, very hard meeting to sort out, but fairly confident we've found a couple of winners.
Speaking of the egg, it's only sort of a couple of weeks away now, so there's sort of some great names are going to be appearing shortly.
Yeah, it really is an exciting time here in New South Wales at the moment. The Golden Easter egg, the richest race in the world. I can't wait until the heat night. It's the best night of greyhound racing as far as I'm concerned in the country, Golden Easter egg heat night.
Certainly is, and speaking of great races, we wish the Richmond Club all the very best on Saturday night. Plenty of action, of course, with TAB Sportsbet in the coming weekend, and to tell us all about it, Matt Jenkins.
Thanks, Ron. Well, one customer at TAB Sportsbet still celebrating after a massive collect on Saturday night. They saw Thrilling Brat win the Super Stayers at the Meadows. $3.50 it jumped. $51 was on offer in the early markets before Miata came out. One customer, they had it into a double, into Joe Wilfred Songer, of all people, in the tennis, around $54. So $54,000 coming their way. They'll be back betting this week because there is plenty of different venues covered at TAB Sportsbet, and looking for a big Saturday night. Really, we've got racing from the Meadows and also Wentworth Park. We've got the Horsham Cup on, as well as the Richmond Derby as well, so you can check out all those markets online at tab.com.au or 133 390.
Thank you, Matt. And of course, the quaddie at Wentworth Park this Saturday night kicks off with race number 5, Tim.
I like number 1, Tough As, the Queenslander for Ronnie Ball, getting this greyhound ready for the Golden Easter egg. Has had one run at Wentworth Park, which was back in the Magic Maiden last year, so I do like that. Beautifully drawn on the inside, Tough As, clearly the one to beat. Number 4, Wandig, he has got a big motor when he's fully into stride. He's just got to overcome that awkward alley. If he does, he can run incredible time. He's a very, very good chance and a live contender for the Golden Easter egg. Throw in number 8, Johnny Will. The other interstater, the South Australian, has run flying times at Angle Park and will improve on whatever he does on Saturday night. A very, very tough race with a couple of unknowns, but I like the inside greyhound.
Looks like a bit of an interstate connection for the first round of the quaddie Saturday night. Second leg of the quaddie is race number 6. How do you see it, Tim?
I like number 4, Clyde's Angel. Her run at Wentworth Park on debut last week was very, very good. She's got the early pace to overcome the awkward 4 alley. She'll be improved by that run, I reckon, 3 or 4 lengths, which does break 30 seconds. I think she'll go very, very close. 7, Ritzer Rider. He can be touchy at box rides, but he's got high speed when he gets rolling into stride. And 2, Ibrox Laura, a very consistent greyhound, and has got the early pace to lead or sit just behind the tempo and could even run 1 or 2 of these down, particularly Yo Cool Maxi, who will probably lead the race, but very, very weak at the end.
Number 4 is Clyde's Angel, another interstater for Timmy Newbold. Third leg is race number 7, and a few chances hit him.
Yeah, I like number 8, Cool Icon at value. Beautifully drawn, wider on the track. Good beginner, great early pace, can run around 30 seconds, 30-1 at Wentworth Park. If he can roll to the lead at the first turn, I reckon he'll give an almighty sight, number 8, Cool Icon. 4, Bubba's Dream, an interstater, a Victorian who is very, very capable of running time. Did have a trial at Wentworth Park recently and will improve a few lengths on that trial, and she'll be very competitive. And throw in number 1, Vegas, the Queenslander for Ronnie Ball, comes into contention from that inside alley.
Number 8 in the third leg at Wentworth Park Saturday night. Coming into the final leg, Tim, how do you see it?
Number 1, Barney's Lee on top. From the inside, I think he'll be able to hold a position in the run to the first turn. Cool Zachney, Greyhound 2 should lead. Has got very, very high speed but lacks strength at the end. If it does lead, I think Barney's Lee will get the perfect drop on him in the middle stages and will finish 2 strongly. Number 1, Barney's Lee. Cool Zachney, as I said, likely leader, will run a big race. Throw in number 8, Entrust, who's beautifully drawn wide on the track and is racing in career best form. But Barney's leader parked just off the tempo and finished strongly.
Looks like the wingers will finish off the quadrella for Timmy Newbold on Saturday night. Last Saturday night, Tim scored a great win with his best bet of the night, Stylish William. Get you back into that big runners for the charity run. So how do you see this week?
I'm really keen on race 2, number 2, Cousin Callum. Has only had the one run at Wentworth Park, scored in 42.5. I think he'll park just in behind the likely leader, Irinka Gabby, who's going great guns, and she's been terrific to me of late. But I think if Cousin Callum can just park behind her in those initial stages, he'll be too strong at the end. He ran 42.5, as I mentioned, first up over the 700. I think he can get down to around 42.2, 42.3. I think he's a very, very talented stayer.
Yeah, Cousin Callum for the Webster family. Best bet of the night for Timmy Newbold. On the value side, how do you see that?
Race 7, number 8, Cool Icon. As I said earlier, I think beautifully drawn wide on the track and has got the early pace to lead and can run a bold race if it does find the lead in the early stages.
All right, well, there's the best value and also the best bet from Tim Newbold. And for other great tips on what's happening over the weekend, let's go back to Matt Jenkins at TAB Sportsbet.
All right, we had the start of the NRL last week and a cracking round as well, a couple of Golden Point games. It's still not too late to register at tabfootytipping.com.au, select NRL, and also join up early while you're there for the AFL season. Plenty of cash and prizes to be won as well. New South Wales customers, if you're not a member of the Number One Club, go online today at numberoneclub.com.au and check out all the different prizes you can redeem, including tickets to ANZ Stadium. We've got the Tabcorp Marquee coming up over the Autumn Racing Carnival, as well as the Rosehill Lounge out at Rosehill Gardens. We've got a big weekend of sport coming up, not only the NRL and some cracking games as well. The NAB Cup rolls on, but the cricket on Friday. Australia currently slight favourites, but against Sri Lanka, the way they've been playing, there's not going to be a lot in this one. $2 outside of Sri Lanka. Australia, $1.80. Sri Lanka got to as much as $13 to win the series as well. Tiger Woods, he found a bit of form last week. He shot a final round of 62. Wasn't enough to beat Rory McIlroy, but we've got to mark it when he'll win his next tournament. We think it'll be in March, so he's $7 to win the tournament this week. Equal favourite there with Rory, but not to win one throughout the year, $5.50. Surely Tiger Woods will be getting one. Go and have a look at tab.com.au. Give us a call, 133 390, or visit your local New South Wales or Victorian TAB.
Thank you, Matt. And of course, one of the big greyhound races on the weekend comes from Richmond, as we mentioned earlier, and it's certainly lining up as a great race.
Oh, a cracking race. It always is. Richmond's one of the best race tracks in the country, that 535 metre distance. I think Power of Darkness for Steve White clocked near track record times last week. He's got high speed when he gets rolling fully into stride. I think he'll be a golden Easter egg contender when he does come through the Richmond Derby and then head back to town. It's a really, really good race, the Richmond Derby.
Certainly will be, and to coincide with that, the Wentworth Park meeting has a 40-minute gap so that there can be a full coverage of the Richmond Derby, and that's certainly a good promotion between the two clubs, GR New South Wales and Sky Channel, to give that great meeting out at Richmond plenty of impetus. So good luck to everybody in the Derby on Saturday night.